In 1947, during Operation High Jump in Antarctica, Admiral Richard Byrd allegedly embarked on a flight that defied everything we know about our planet. According to writer Raymond Bernard, in his 1968 book The Hollow Earth, Byrd discovered a hidden realm within the Earth, a lush world of verdant valleys, ancient cities, and a civilization far more advanced than our own. Stories like these speak of ancient maps hinting at entrances to an inner world, flights covering inexplicable distances, and satellite image anomalies that spark the imagination, floating between myth and possibility. What if humanity's greatest mystery lies not in the oceans or among the stars, but mere miles beneath our feet, or perhaps within ourselves? As a symbol of the unknown we carry welcome, mystery hunters. Today we dive into one of history's most enduring legends, Agartha, the hidden kingdom said to exist within the Earth itself. Not just a fantastical tale, but an idea that has inspired secret societies, captivated world leaders, and challenges us to rethink what lies beneath the ground we walk upon and beyond the reality we perceive. The story of Agartha begins not in modern conspiracy theories, but in ancient texts from across the world. The Vedas of India speak of Patala, an underground realm of serpent beings and advanced civilizations. Tibetan Buddhism tells of Shambhala, a hidden paradise where wisdom masters guard ancient knowledge. Even the Greek tales of Hades and Norse myths of Svartalfheim suggest inner worlds beneath our feet. But it was in the 19th century that these scattered legends coalesced into something more tangible. In 1864, Jules Verne published Journey to the Center of the Earth, capturing the Victorian imagination with visions of prehistoric worlds hidden below. What many readers didn't realize was that Verne's fiction drew heavily from scientific theories of his time, particularly the Hollow Earth hypothesis proposed by John Cleves Symmes Jr., who lobbied Congress to fund an expedition to the Earth's interior through openings he believed existed at the poles. The term Agartha itself emerged in this period, popularized by the French occultist Alexandre Saint-Yves d'Alvedre in his 1886 work Mission de l'Inde en Europe. He claimed to have learned of this subterranean world through astral projection and conversations with mysterious Eastern adepts. According to Saint-Yves, Agartha was a vast underground network of communities governed by a sovereign pontiff called the Brahmatma, possessing technology far beyond 19th century capabilities, including flying vehicles, advanced medicine, and energy sources unknown to surface dwellers. What's fascinating is how these esoteric ideas infiltrated scientific and political circles. In 1908, Marshall B. Gardner published A Journey to the Earth's Interior, presenting supposed evidence that the Earth was hollow with an interior sun. He cited unusual migration patterns of Arctic animals, unexplained weather phenomena, and reports from polar explorers of warm winds and red dust where only ice should exist. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a remote Himalayan cave where local monks whisper that on certain nights, strange lights emanate from deep within the mountain. They tell you these are the lamps of Agarthan emissaries, ascending from their realm to observe our world. The monks' eyes reflect both reverence and fear, for in their tradition, Agartha represents both salvation and judgment. The legend took a darker turn during World War II. Nicholas Roerich, a Russian mystic who explored Central Asia in the 1920s and 30s, claimed to have discovered entrances to Agartha in Mongolia. His writings caught the attention of certain European esoteric movements, who became obsessed with finding these passages. Historical records suggest expeditions were launched to Tibet, not just for political intelligence, but to search for these mythical entrances and the power they might contain. What if these weren't merely the delusions of fringe occultists, but reflected a deeper human intuition about our planet? After all, we've only drilled about 7.5 miles into the Earth's crust, less than 0.2% of the distance to the center. As Shakespeare's Hamlet reminds us, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But perhaps the most intriguing aspects of the Agartha legend is its persistence in the technological era. In 1968, Dr. Raymond Bernard, widely regarded at the time as a charlatan and propagator of pseudoscientific theories, published The Hollow Earth. In the book, he compiled alleged testimonies from polar explorers, including Admiral Byrd, who reportedly described flying over lush landscapes beyond the poles. Bernard claimed these visions were evidence of surface entrances to Agartha, supposedly concealed by government agencies aware of the existence of an inner Earth world. What secrets might be hiding in the 95% of our oceans that remain unexplored, or in the vast cave systems that extend far beyond where humans have ventured? The most startling twist in the Agartha narrative emerges when we examine the historical expeditions to Earth's poles. In 1947, Admiral Richard Byrd led Operation High Jump to Antarctica, officially a military training exercise, but unusually large in scale with 13 ships, 33 aircraft, and nearly 5,000 personnel. While the official records describe scientific observations and military exercises, this massive deployment to such a remote region has fueled decades of speculation among alternative researchers. In his verified public statements after returning, Byrd spoke only of the strategic importance of the polar regions and the need for further exploration. However, in the decades since, a parallel narrative emerged in esoteric literature, with unverified journals and second-hand accounts attributing extraordinary discoveries to Byrd's expeditions. These unofficial stories, clearly separated from historical record, became intertwined with the Agartha legend. What if these persistent legends, while not supported by official documents, reflect humanity's enduring intuition that our understanding of Earth's structure remains incomplete? Even more intriguing are the recent discoveries of vast ecosystems thriving in isolation deep within the Earth. The Mobile Cave in Romania, sealed off for 5.5 million years, contains 48 species found nowhere else on Earth. The Vostok Lake, buried beneath 2.5 miles of Antarctic ice for 15 million years, harbors microorganisms with unique DNA. These discoveries force us to reconsider what kinds of life might exist in extreme conditions we've barely begun to explore. In 2019, scientists were stunned to discover a massive subterranean biosphere containing billions of tons of bacteria, a subterranean Galapagos extending miles below the surface. As Deep Carbon Observatory scientist Isabel Daniel noted, it's like finding a whole new reservoir of life on Earth. Or perhaps the truth is stranger still. Quantum physicists now seriously discuss the possibility of parallel dimensions existing alongside our own. The mathematician John Nash, whose life inspired A Beautiful Mind, was convinced that what we perceive as reality is merely one layer of a multi-dimensional existence. What if the entrances to Agartha aren't physical passages, but points, where the membrane between dimensions grows thin? What secrets might be hiding in plain sight, waiting for us to perceive them through a different lens? The legend of Agartha endures not because of concrete evidence, but because it speaks to something profound in our collective psyche. The intuition that our world contains hidden dimensions beyond our everyday perception. From the ancient Greeks who believed in the underworld of Hades, to modern theoretical physicists exploring the mathematics of higher dimensions, humans have always sensed that reality is more layered than it appears. Perhaps the most compelling aspect of the Agartha mystery is how it connects to the concept that Ananda Coomaraswamy called the point where all worlds meet, the symbolic center that exists simultaneously everywhere and nowhere. In traditions worldwide, this center is where terrestrial and celestial dimensions intersect, where communication between cosmic levels becomes possible. The Tibetan mandala, the Greek omphalos, the Islamic Kaaba, all represent this point of convergence between worlds. What if Agartha isn't a physical place to be discovered with drills and expeditions, but a state of consciousness to be accessed through what the ancients called centralization, establishing an immovable center within oneself that transcends ordinary spatial and temporal limitations? In esoteric traditions across cultures, Agartha represents the primordial center, not merely geographically but metaphysically. This central position explains why its inhabitants are described as spiritually and technologically advanced beings. According to traditionalist philosophers like René Guénon, such beings would exist at the intersection of divine and material realms, serving as guardians of primordial wisdom. Their advanced nature wouldn't stem from material evolution, but from proximity to the divine source, the center being the point of least separation between heaven and earth. As Mircea Eliade noted in The Sacred and the Profane, every true center contains an axis mundi, a vertical connection to higher planes of existence. The beings of Agartha would thus be advanced not through technological progress as we understand it, but through their function as intermediaries in the great chain of being that connects the divine plan to our material world. Whether Agartha exists as a physical realm, a metaphor for undiscovered subterranean ecosystems, or a symbol of higher consciousness, the quest to understand it reveals something profound about human nature. We are explorers, driven to push beyond known boundaries, whether geographical, scientific, or spiritual. As T.S. Eliot wrote, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." Loved this journey into Earth's deepest mysteries? Hit subscribe for more explorations into the unknown. And remember, this hunt has been a blend of documented scientific discoveries and tantalizing what-ifs based on historical and bibliographical sources. The greatest mystery may not be what lies beneath our feet, but how much remains unexplored in the world around us and within ourselves. What hidden realms are you curious about? Let us know in the comments below.